Hello everyone, Zero here, and I am here here with the deck profile. My deck profile that I will be showing you guys today is Tenyi. Um, so I guess let's get to it. So the first Tenyi monster we have is Ashuna. Yo, that's some whack lighting. Hold up. Okay, that's a little better. And then we have Vishuda. And then we have Adhera. And then we have Shithana. Three for all of those that I just said. Then we have Tumapura. That's it for the Tenyi package. Basically, each Tenyi monster has the same effect as their first effect. They all have two, and every Tenyi monster shares the same first effect. And the first effect is they can be special summoned from the hand if you don't control any effect monsters. And then they each have a second effect that you can activate by banishing from hand or graveyard, which Ashuna, if you banish from hand or graveyard while you control a non-effect monster, you can special summon another Tenyi monster from your deck with a different name. But the thing about Ashuna, is that Ashuna will lock you out of activating worm monster, special summoning worm monsters. Then we have one Vishuda, banished from hand or grave, to target a card your opponent controls while you control a non-effect monster, and return it to the hand. And then we have Adhera. If you control a non-effect monster, banish from hand or graveyard, and then you can recycle another Tenyi monster from your banish zone into your hand. And then we have Shithana, which if a non-effect monster gets destroyed, you can banish this card. If it gets destroyed by battle or card effects, you can banish this card, special summon it back, and then destroy a monster your opponent controls, which is really good. It's just basically kind of like a free destroy. And then if a non-effect monster gets targeted for a card effect, you can quick effect, banish from hand or graveyard, and then negate and destroy it. The card that was activated. Alright, that is it for the Tenyi monster. Now let's move on to the others. We have 3 Format Skipper, which Format Skipper, you can reveal a link monster in your extra deck, and it becomes the material for that link monster. Then if he gets sent to the graveyard by a link summon, then you could search for a level 5 or higher Cyberse monster, which is Parallel Exceed. Parallel Exceed is when you link summon, you can special summon this card from your hand, and then special summon another Parallel Exceed monster from your deck, and they both become level 4. The next is Two Mimir. He can special summon. He can't be special summoned except by the effect of a war monster, but he can special summon up to 3 tokens, mini Mimir tokens, and for every token he special summons, he loses a level. Then we have, of course, we have 3 Ash Blossom, basic hand traps, 3 Effect Veiler, and then 1 Mystery Shell Dragon. That is it for all of the monsters. Now let's move on. God, my throat. Now let's move on to Vessel for the Dragon Cycle. Vessel for the Dragon Cycle is you could send a worm monster from your deck or graveyard. Then if you control a non-effect monster, you can add a Tenyi monster from your deck to your hand, then the different name of the sent monster to the graveyard. Then we have 2 Flawless. All non-effect monsters you control are unaffected by monster effects. And then if your opponent special summons a monster while you control face down, and or a non-effect monster, you can draw 2 cards. Then we have 3 Unexpected Die for the Mystery Shell Dragon. If you don't control any monsters, you can special summon a level 4 or lower normal monster from your deck. 1 Monster Reborn, 3 World Legacy Successions, 3 Forbidden Chalice, 2 Pot of Greeds, 2 Pot of Avarice, which Pot of Avarice is amazing in this deck. This deck goes through so much material. One Call by the Grave, and then one Raigeki. That is it for the spells. Now let's move on to the traps. The traps are 2 Fists of the Unrivaled Tenyi. Fists of the Unrivaled Tenyi is when your opponent activates a card effect while you control a non-effect monster, negate it. And if this card, while it is set, gets destroyed by your opponent's card effect, you can special summon a non-effect monster from your extra deck. And then we have 3 Ember. That is it for the main deck. Now let's move on to the extra deck. So we have Monk. And then we have Shaman of the Tenyi, which Shaman of the Tenyi is you can discard a card to special summon a worm monster from your graveyard, which that would be Mirror. And then you cannot activate the effect of Tenyi monsters for the rest of the turn. And the Shaman has a second effect, which doesn't really get used in this deck ever. But basically, when a non-effect monster gets destroyed, hold up, is it a non-effect monster? When an attack is declared involving your face-up non-effect monster, you could target a card your opponent controls and destroy it. And then we have one Draco, which while he's on the field, if you don't control any other effect monsters, you can destroy your opponent's cards up to the number of non-effect monsters in your grave and field. Then we have a Halki Fibrex. Then we have 3 Berserker. Then we have 2 Sahasrara. Sahasrara are basically non-effect monsters you control cannot be targeted for attacks nor card effects while you control a non-effect monster. She has a quick effect where you could target a monster your opponent controls, and special summon a token, and the token becomes the same attack as the targeted monster. And then we have one Draco, the Synchro Link monster. If your opponent activates a monster effect, you can banish it. Draco, when he attacks and destroys an effect monster, he gains that much attack of the effect monster, and he can make a second attack up to a second attack on another monster your opponent controls. The attack gain is permanent, but sadly it's a once per turn effect, so it doesn't gain attack for 2 monsters. If it destroys 2 monsters, only 1. But we have Gem Knight Pearl, and then Ultimate Blue Eyes White Dragon. Gem Knight Pearl for the Parallel Exceed, and then Blue Eyes White Dragon or Ultimate Blue Eyes White Dragon for the Fist of the Unrivaled Tenyi, the trap for the Tenyi monsters. If it gets destroyed, special summon that. 4,500 beat or so. Yeah. And then we have 3 Twin Twisters in our side deck, and then 1 Tornado Dragon in our side deck. And then that will be it for our Tenyi deck profile. Like, subscribe, leave a comment if you have if you have any suggestions I should put in this deck, or maybe changes to this deck. I am always open to hearing that, but at the same time I may be open to hear that, but I'm very stubborn and very like my Tenyi deck is the best Tenyi deck. But this deck can also beat almost every meta deck right now. So yeah, I have I have evidence to back that my deck is the best Tenyi deck, because no other Tenyi deck profile that I've seen can do that. But anyways, hope you all enjoyed. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I just wanted a tripod instead of what I was doing in the past. But anyways, that'll be it. Have a nice day.